Hey guys, Jen here, and welcome to another edition of Check This Game Out. Today's game is Path of Exile, a game that's currently in closed beta. It's being developed by a company called Grinding Gear Games, and they are based out of New Zealand. Now, as you look at this game, it may remind you of another game, and that game would be probably Diablo 2. And that's where Grinding Gear Games wanted to sort of go with this game. They really love Diablo 2. It's not that they didn't like Diablo 3, but they feel that Diablo 2 was probably, and I actually agree with them, was probably the better of the Diablos. Now, what is Path of Exile? It is an action role-playing game, and it's pretty much what you would expect out of an action role-playing game. If you've played them before, you get your inventory as usual, you get your items, you get your potions that you get to use, you've got your life and your mana, and you get a shield which is dictated by, you know, items that give you that shield. For instance, this gives you plus 18 to maximum energy shield, and energy shield is sort of a buffer before you start taking actual damage with life. Now, how do you get spells? When you begin the game, you could choose a class. It's basic classes such as Witch, Ranger, and the like. And when you play the game, you will find gems. And the gems are the spells. And the spells, sort of as you level, and as you use the spells themselves gain levels. And the spells will start to conform to sort of what your character is. For instance, this one here, Fire Trap. Fire Trap is more of a ranger type spell, so I'm capped out on dexterity. I don't have 28 dexterity, so I cannot level this spell any higher. You see it's got a little cross, a little plus sign here. It's saying I can level it, but I just don't meet the requirements. And to meet the requirements, I would have to have 28 dexterity, and the same for this one, but the requirement is level 32. I'm currently level 31, so as soon as I hit level 32 I can level this one up, and that's pretty much goes for all the spells. So you can sort of make up the spells however you want. It's really extremely flexible. Let's take a look at the skill tree. Now, when I first saw this, it sort of came to mind that it was sort of like a circuit board. You know, I was like, holy crap, look at that. It's an entire mess of circuitry, but it's really not. When you pick a class, you can see the different classes start in their own little sections, like this, and here's the witch, which is what I am, and you can branch out. And you can actually branch into other trees. Now, what this allows is some really unique ways of speccing your character. Now, me, as for myself, I'm quite a simple person. I've specced into spell damage, and I've specced mainly into fire damage because that's pretty much what I like to use. Now, the witch, she mainly focuses on spell, lightning, and frost. And let's see, got some mana regen, more mana, definitely good. Arcane focus, and that increases my energy shield, which is a definite need because being a witch, she's kind of soft and she doesn't have a lot of life. As you can see, her shield is almost twice as much as her life. And here's her mana. So let's get into some combat. Let's go out this way. We'll just do some quick combat. Now, you get all kinds of spells. You get curses also, like I've formed a layer curse in it, and it activates on your mouse pointer. And this particular curse curses all the targets in the area, make them more vulnerable to critical strikes, which is really awesome. And this thing you see counting up is Fire Trap. and it'll have 3 charges maximum, and when you use one, of course it takes some time for it to recharge. And you can set a maximum of 3. Now you can see these, but the enemy cannot, and that even goes for the players. And that's my basic fireball, which is bound to my right mouse click. Kill this guy here. And there, he walked over my traps. 2 of them exploded. When they explode, they do fire damage, and they also do a burning damage over time. Now the game is currently in closed beta, but there are ways to get into the game. If you sign up on their website, they do a drawing I believe every 5 minutes or every few minutes. They pick someone off the form at random to get into the beta. And that's awesome, but it's sort of a lottery system. And the other way that I know to get into the beta is actually to purchase your way into the beta. And it starts out at $10 United States currency and goes on up from there, and you can buy whatever level you wish. And he dropped an orb. Another interesting thing about this game is there is no gold. And that means you will collect a bunch of items like portal scrolls and orbs. And all these items have different abilities that you can use on your gear to improve the gear, to add more sockets, to change the color of the sockets, to link the sockets, or however you like. And you can also use these things for currency. There is a lively population. I had global off, but see, people are trading pretty frequently. So you want to buy orbs of alteration, paying with alch or chaos. And there's some spells. You might see something that you like, you want to trade for. And I actually like this system. The barter system is pretty neat. That way you don't go around hoarding gold like a lot of people do, I guess, in other action RPGs. This is a basic spell that I pretty much got at level 1, Fireball. And like I said, it levels up with you. Let me go back to my... It's Firestorm. Where did I put Fireball? Here it is. See, it's currently level 8. And you can see that it has experience just like you do. So as you kill things, the gems that you have socketed gain experience. This is also interesting because you can socket gems that you may not want to use on this character, like for rangers or for a melee class or whatever, and you can actually level those gems up for other classes that you may use. And that leads us to the stash. Now the stash is a shared stash between all of your characters, so whoever I log in on this character, I will have the same stash. We've only got a few things in here. And these are the items that you'll find which are pretty much used for your own use or currency. So here's a change the color of a socket, changes a normal item into a random rarity, etc., etc. And I have an item here that I'm working on. It's got 4 blue sockets as compared to this one, which has 3 different colored sockets. And here's also a gold ring, which increases loot found. All good stuff. But back again about shared. I really like that feature. I have a ranger, which I just started, and what I can do is if I find items while I'm on my ranger that are for my witch, I can just put them in stash and collect them on my witch. So you can pretty much build one character for just farming if you want, and use another character for whatever else. I really like the feature of having shared stash. Now quests. There are some quests in the game. Again, this game is currently in closed beta, so they're still adding and tweaking and fixing things. And I'm also in what's called cruel difficulty, which is the second level of difficulty. You start out at normal difficulty, and once you complete there are only 2 acts right at the moment. Once you complete the second act, you go into the next tier, which is cruel difficulty for this one. So I am level 31 and I just entered the cruel difficulty not too long ago. And you do the quest all over again, and you do everything all over again, but everything's much harder. And the same goes again. If I beat the second act in cruel difficulty, I'll go to, I believe, Merciless. I think Merciless is the next level above cruel. If I'm wrong, post it down in the comments below. Anyway, the game is in closed beta, and once it's fully released, it will be fully free to play, which is fantastic for a game like this. I really like the fact that it's going to be free to play because... I'm going to go back to Twilight Stand real quick. Anyway, this is the first little beach. Anyway, I like the fact that it's going to be fully free to play. It's really, in my opinion, it's going to be quite popular. In fact, it's already quite popular among the people who know about it. And you see these little guys have an aura around them. And here's a little... He's got the golden name, which makes him sort of a rare creature. He'll drop different types of items, better items. As you can see, he dropped 2 blue items. And 1 white, which I have white off by default unless I actually push the Alt key, then I'll see the whites. The white items. I really like the combat. It's simple. Just hold down the right mouse button and aim where you want to kill and kill. That's my basic wand, which I don't... It's very weak, to be honest. I much prefer Ring of Fire. And this also goes along with wherever you set your mouse pointer at. Now, auras. Let's talk about auras real quick. I have 2 auras. There are many auras in the game. I have 2 auras. One is Discipline. If I cast that, it reserves a little bit of mana, how much ever mana it says it reserves, which in this case is 80. And it gives you the buff, which you can actually see up here in the corner. And this buff is actually for you and your allies, so whoever is in your party gets this buff. And it gives them a boost to their energy shield. And this is also a spell that levels up, so the higher levels it gets, the more mana it will reserve and the higher amount of energy shield it will grant to your party members. Now here's another one, Clarity. This is a spell that boosts my mana regen for myself and my allies, which I really like. But it reserves a great deal more mana. You can see 180, so watch this. More than half of my mana is reserved, but it regens so quickly that there's no real fear of you going mana dry. A horrible aim, just like in first-person shooters. Get a little closer, maybe that'll help. Anyway, I really like this game. I think it's well made, and it's still in closed beta, so they've got some ways to go with it. They got a lot more quests and some acts that they're adding. They're also adding PvP, which would be really interesting to see. And beyond that, I highly suggest you try it. Like I said, when it's fully released, it will be fully free to play. So it's definitely a game you want to keep your eye on. And that's about it, I believe. I think I've covered just about the main points of the game. If I've missed anything or the like, please post it in the comments below. I'd like to, I like to try to put in as much information as possible. Well, this has been Jen. And this has been yet another. Check this game out. This game is called Path of Exile. I'll post a link to it below. And I highly suggest you check it out, or at least keep an eye on it for when it's fully released, because it will be free to play. Once again, thank you for watching. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe. I've got a lot more videos coming along, and a lot more closed betas. And if I get extra beta keys, I do give those away. So check out my videos for those. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.